Okay, Tris.
And Gigi.
You already know what time it is, man. Larry Bird fans, stand up, man. Y'all been asking for this video for quite a long time, my friend. Y'all been asking for it for a minute. Y'all been telling me, watch Making the Case, watch Making the Case, watch Making the Case. So we're on the panel right now. We're going to watch Making the Case.
Okay.
And we get to decide if he's the GOAT or not. You ready for this?
Yeah.
All right, Making the Case. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let's just get into it.
Special. The size of the court and the lack of pads or helmets give fans the most intimate experience of a team sport that exists. And because of the different styles that basketball allows for, players develop their own distinct identities and signature styles through their creativity, flair, and athleticism. And although no player succeeds alone, the scoring volume and two-way nature of the sport give individual stars a nearly unprecedented amount of control over the flow and outcome of a game. For this reason, players are constantly compared to their peers and to the legends of the past in order to answer the most hotly contested question in the sport. Who's the greatest to ever do it? For many, the question is redundant. They believe in only one right answer, their answer. Others might have their own personal stance, but acknowledge one or two alternatives. But I believe that there's much more nuance to the question of greatness and more answers to it than you might think. By my count, there are 8 players in NBA history that have a substantial claim as the GOAT. It's a subjective thing, though. I can't give you a definitive answer. All I can do is make the argument.
All right, let's do it.
So today, I'll be making the case for Larry Bird as the greatest basketball player of all time.
Let's do it. Making the Case. Shout out to Clayton Crowley. Good work, dog. I mean, for real.
When it comes to basketball, Larry Bird is the smartest, clutchest player to ever play the game. Now, if you don't think that Larry Bird is the greatest basketball player of all time, you probably hate that I just said that. Those are the kind of talking head sport cliches that surely impact the game but are impossible to empirically measure. Normally, I'd agree with you, but I think that when you talk about Larry Bird, you see those intangibles become real, palpable results. I wouldn't have said it if I didn't believe it. When Larry Bird was drafted by the Boston Celtics in 1978, the NBA needed saving. Attendance was in the toilet, the league had few marketable stars, cocaine addiction had several players in its grasp, and most damning of all, playoff games were being tape delayed. Playoff games at the highest level of basketball were being put in the back seat for black and white movies and network reruns.
Wow, nobody was
But
watching.
rather than join the Celtics after being taken 3rd overall, Larry Bird decided to return for his final year at Indiana State, a decision that would prove to be one of the most important in the history of the sport. Bird's final year saw the Sycamores tear through college basketball, going 33-0 before the national championship game.
33-0?
Already claimed by the NBA's most historic and prestigious franchise, had established himself as the generational talent who would inherit the mantle of pro basketball. Indiana State's opponent in the national championship was Michigan State, captained by the immortal Earvin Magic Johnson.
Of course.
The Sycamores lost the championship.
Dang, that's
to the more
crazy. That means they've been beefing for a minute. Well, they're cool, but they've been...
Like college, right?
Yeah, since college, they've been like head to head. I didn't even know that.
Spartans in the highest rated game in the history of basketball at any level still to this day.
Dang.
The stage had been set. The next decade of basketball would be defined by the rivalry between the white hick from French Lick and his Boston Celtics and the black Magic and his Showtime Lakers. The rivalry between Bird and Johnson is entwined into the fabric of the NBA and is worthy of 100 documentaries. In this video, though, we're going to be looking at Bird's claim of supremacy. Here's Bird's basketball resume. His
3 championships, 3 MVPs, 2 finals MVPs, 12. You want me to break this down for you? Okay, so 3 championships. He won 3 regular season MVPs, so he's the best player. They vote him. 2 final MVPs, so the championship, he was the best player in the championship. All-star, obviously, that's kind of 10 NBA All-Teams, 9 first time.
Oh, so it's self-explanatory.
Yeah, NBA. You know what first teams mean, like all teams, kind of. So if he's 9 times first team, they say he's the best player in that position. He won that 9 times. And then one year he was the second best player in that position. So he was 10 years in a row, it seemed like. He was like the best player for his position. That's crazy.
3 championships come with perhaps the highest collective degree of difficulty of any player's championships. His 3 MVPs came consecutively, making him only the 3rd player to accomplish the feat, along with Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain. His 2 finals MVPs are misleading. He was absolutely the best player on the '81 Celtics, but he was only a sophomore, and his 15 points per game in the finals gave the media an excuse to exact a little vengeance on a legendarily difficult interview.
Dang.
His all-star and first-team selections also come with the caveat that Bird only played for 13 seasons.
What?
All but 6.
He only played 13 seasons? I didn't even know that. That's crazy. So, if he only played 13 seasons, that means there's only 1 year that he wasn't, like, the best in his position?
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
Games of the '89 season following surgeries on both feet.
Surgeries.
I can hear you already. A 13-year career. And this guy is supposed to be the GOAT? What color of paint are you huffing, Clayton?
Sheesh.
Green, obviously. But hear me out. Yeah, Bird's career lasted about 2/3 as long as it should have. But what he did in that time was so impressive and so substantial that every basketball fan acknowledges that he's in the conversation as the greatest ever. Doesn't it matter that those 13 years saved professional basketball, delivered a disproportionate amount of memorable moments, defined the golden age of the league, and produced a career by which all other forwards, before or since, are measured? Bird squeezed every drop of talent out in those 13 years and made it seem more like 30. Wow. He didn't just leave his fingerprints on the game. He left so much of his DNA in the sport that it needed a cigarette afterwards. There's something to be said about the candle that lasts half as long but burns twice as bright. Those 3 MVP years stack up with any other run by any other player. I will put an A+ Larry Bird season up against anyone's.
Sheesh.
What does an A+ Larry Bird season look like? A full box score,
Dang,
a blowout win,
nasty,
a nearly undefeated record at home, and a play style that could only be described one way: white. Larry Bird isn't just a white basketball player.
What?
He's the white basketball player.
What do you mean? I don't consider Larry Bird's play style white. He played black, honestly. Flashy, he moves.
I mean, that doesn't mean it's black.
I don't know if it means it's white either.
I'm not sure white and black are the best
He's a flashy
descriptive
dude.
words for this.
Yeah, no.
I think charismatic could have fit.
Yep.
I think show-stopping could have fit.
Yeah, all of that. Yeah, not white. I don't know.
To describe Larry Bird's game is to thumb through the Hoops dictionary and pick out every cliche about white players. Unathletic, great shooter, good fundamentals, the whole thing. The archetype of a white basketball player is Larry Bird, with one exception.
Fact.
He had an unparalleled understanding of the game of basketball, both as a physical contest and as a mental competition. His basketball IQ infected everything he did and catapulted his career into legend. Bird was a complete player. Jerry West called him nearly as perfect as you can get. He was the league's first great marksman. He could contort his body to shoot from anywhere on the court, regardless of the level of defense. He pioneered the art of the dagger 3 and was the founding member of the 50-40-90 club. At 6'9", Bird's understanding of angles and coordination led to a higher rebounding average than
You know what the 50-40-90 club is? That's when you can shoot 50% from the 3-point line. I think 40% overall, and then 90% from the 50% from the 3-point line. 40% overall, and then 90% from the free throw. So I mean, he was pretty much.
Is that like unheard of?
Yeah, that's really good. I mean, if you're 90% from the free throw line, you're not missing really. If you're 40% overall, you're really not. 50% is like, from the 3-point is pretty crazy. Half of your shots you're gonna make, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's really good.
Patrick Ewing, and it made him an impressively adept finisher in his younger years. 86, Bird dropped 47 points on the Blazers, playing the majority of the game left-handed.
Yeah, that was crazy.
His lack of quick lateral movement meant that Bird didn't do much when it came to slapping the floor and picking up the opposing point guard, but his size and omniscience gave him the ability to body similarly sized players, read defenses like a free safety, and pick off passing lanes with ease. His passing was transcendent, and I'll highlight it later. And of course you need to know that Larry Bird was a tough MFer.
Yeah.
He had a superhuman motor and dove for loose balls like a beagle at the park. He was a willing participant in
Jeez.
his fights, often precipitated by his league-renowned trash talk.
Golly.
I remember told Robert Reed he never stayed there. He should have stayed in preaching. That was funny. He had 50 points. I was guarding in my rookie year. He looked at me and he goes, "You can't stop me." And I looked at him and I said, "Gosh, boy, you're so confident." He proceeded to score like 10 straight points on me. The coach took me out the game. He walks by and he's laughing at me.
He was a basketball genius. He'd be a step ahead, a thought ahead, play the game like a chess game.
I'd much rather guard Michael Jordan than Larry Bird because
that's crazy.
You have to play the game as a thinker when you're playing him. You have to get inside his mind.
If you put all of us in a room, you know, Magic, Jordan, myself, and Bird probably be the guy who walks out of the room at the end of the day.
Wow.
Did you notice something during those testimonies? Those are some of the best basketball players of all time, and they all sing Bird's praises like they were former assassins who had to go toe-to-toe with John Wick, and they're just happy to be alive. Bird excelled during one of the most talent-rich periods in league history. The abridged list of his basketball rivals goes like this: Dr. J and Moses Malone on the Philadelphia 76ers, Sidney Moncrief on the Milwaukee Bucks, Isaiah Thomas, Bill Laimbeer and the Bad Boy Pistons, Dominique Wilkins on the Atlanta Hawks, Bernard King on the New York Knicks, Michael Jordan on the Chicago Bulls, Hakeem Olajuwon and Ralph Sampson on the Houston Rockets, and of course, Magic Johnson, James Worthy, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar on the Los Angeles Lakers. Alright, there's no point avoiding it any longer. We have to look at Magic versus Larry. If you have Magic over Larry, it's because he has 5 rings to Larry's 3,
Okay.
had a peak that lasted about 2 or 3 years longer than Larry's,
Okay.
and had a 2-1 record against Bird's Celtics in the finals.
Okay.
Perfectly legitimate, completely respectable arguments. But in the interest of making Bird's case, allow me to retort. For nearly the entire decade of the 1980s, the Eastern Conference was irrefutably the more competitive conference between
Really?
the two. Considering the competition, for Bird to have made 5
That's
finals
still-
appearances is just as impressive as Magic's 9. As for the head-to-head record responsible for Magic's 2 extra titles, he had more help. Seriously, the Celtics' big 3...
Yeah, that is true. And then that's crazy to think about it. They said the East was more which
challenging.
that sounds crazy nowadays because the West now, like it's always been since I was a kid, the West has always got everybody.
Yeah.
The Nuggets, the Mavericks, the Lakers, the Clippers. You know, everybody's on the West and the East sucks. So back then, it was a reverse. It was the opposite. And Magic Johnson did have a lot of help. He had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had
he had a really good team.
a really good team. So.
The Lakers' big 3 get compared all the time historically as if they were of equal caliber, but weren't Magic's accomplices just a step above Bird's? No disrespect at all to Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish, but Kareem was the alpha dog on the 71 Bucks and was the best player for at least 2 of the Lakers' 5 titles. James Worthy was the #1 pick out of UNC after winning a championship as the best player on a team that had Michael Jordan on it. Throw in the fact that Magic got to be coached by Pat Riley, one of the most brilliant minds in basketball history, and you could say that the Magic-Bird argument comes down to one thing: luck. So if their careers come down to luck, the question just becomes who you would rather take. Now,
Okay.
I'm not making this video to tell you why you shouldn't take Magic. I'm making this video to tell you why you should take Bird. Not just over Magic, but over everybody. One thing that helps him is the fact that his play would translate perfectly into the league today. A 6'9" sharpshooting forward with eyes in the back of his head who averaged double-digit rebounds
be
in an
Jokic,
era against Moses
skinnier.
and Laimbeer. He'd gobble up boards as a power forward. He'd be an offensive mismatch against everybody as a small ball center, and his off-ball skills and passing would pair perfectly with the flow of today's game. Add in his competitive mania and 3 generations worth of medical advancements, and we're talking about a player who could have stuck around so long they would have had to rename the league. As you've been watching these clips of Bird, I would hope that you would notice something. He always knows where everybody is. Watching Bird play basketball is like watching those monsters from A Quiet Place that know where you are if you make any noise at all. Bird had a level of clairvoyance that bordered on the unnatural. In '85, he ended up 1 steal away from a quadruple-double after playing just the first 3 quarters.
You know what a quadruple-double
His
is?
passing was famously infectious and helped transform the Celtics of the '80s into an ideal that basketball teams at all levels are still shown tape of. They moved the ball with precision and intent, always looking for better shots and determined to get the entire team involved in the effort. That fact is almost entirely attributable to Bird and his wizardry with the ball. This acumen also helped Bird become the only player with a GOAT claim to transition successfully into other basketball roles after his playing career. In his 3 years as the head coach of the Pacers, Bird won a Coach of the Year award, coached the Pacers to their first and only finals appearance, and gave Michael Jordan as much trouble as he'd ever gotten in his career in the 98 Eastern Conference Finals.
That's probably because he played Michael Jordan so much. He's like, I know how to stop him. Dang, I didn't know he was a coach too. That's crazy. I mean, he was just competitive.
He just loved the sport.
Yeah, he just loved the sport. Even when he retired, he wanted to stay in it. That's crazy.
After moving into a front office role for Indiana, he won Executive of the Year in 2012, becoming the only person to have an MVP, Coach of the Year, and Executive of the Year award.
Wow.
On the court or off of it, inside and out, Larry Bird sees basketball as only he can. That intelligence also lent itself to Bird's defining skill, making the big plays. Remember, NBA players get paid to win games.
Oh, yeah?
James Harden is getting paid nearly $40 million this year because he's supposed to help the Rockets win games.
Oh my God.
Victory can be achieved in a lot of ways, and the win column doesn't care how it happens. As Mark Sinclair once said,
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
I used to love that
but
movie.
when your team is down 1 in a crucial playoff game with 8 seconds left, and you need to hit a shot to stay in the series and keep your season alive, that's where players really separate themselves and earn their money. Love it or hate it, it's the players that come through in the big moments that live forever in our memories. Some players, for whatever reason, were never able to do it consistently. Some players were truly outstanding at it. Larry Bird was the best at it.
1 second left. He was the dog, I can't lie. Sheesh.
I'm not going to give you the stats about his field goal shooting under 2 minutes with a score that's this close, or tell you who has the most buzzer beaters, or any of that.
Take that for data.
I'm just going to show you clutch moments in clutch situations.
2 seconds
1985 against the Blazers. Bird drops 48 points, including this. Down 1 with 2 seconds left.
2 seconds.
Double teaming Bird. Larry.
God dang.
1985 against the Hawks. Bird sets the Celtics scoring record with 60 points with shots like these.
They open the right side. Bird the follow. He drills it again. That's the best shooting I've ever seen.
1986 against the Rockets. Not all of Bird's clutch moments were singular. The bigger the moment, the bigger his performance. In Game 6 of the 1986 NBA Finals, Bird clinches the championship with a triple-double in what he calls the best game he ever played.
Dang.
2 seconds on the shot clock. Bird wants a three.
Golly.
1987 against the Washington Bullets. Bird hits one shot to tie it before it's waved off because of a timeout.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. He said hit it the
Hits
same
another
spot.
shot to tie it up for real.
That was crazy.
Crowd is standing up. It goes now to Bird.
That's
Bird goes up top.
crazy.
And then in double overtime, down 1, he does this.
It's gonna go to Bird. He's got a shot.
The fact this man is shooting off of one leg is crazy. Like, that doesn't even make sense.
For 3 years, from 1986 to 1988, the three-point contest knew no other champion but Larry Bird.
He's just making small.
Yeah. Golly, money.
Quickly, 14. This is a tie for the money.
Man.
1987 Eastern Conference Finals, Game 5. Tied at 2 games apiece against the Bad Boy Pistons, this enormous game would put the winner 1 game away from the NBA Finals. The Pistons are up 1 with seconds remaining. The ball goes out of bounds off the Celtics.
Dang, he disappeared into the
Isaiah
crowd.
Thomas just needs to inbound the ball to win the game.
Just need to throw it in. Yeah. Good steal. Game.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
There are truly too many big games and big moments for me to go through without this ending up as a documentary. But that all leads me to this, what I really want to talk about. 1987, NBA Finals, Game 4 against the Lakers. LA is up 2-1, and the Celtics need to win to tie the series and stay alive. Bird hits a 3 with 12 seconds left to go up by 2.
12 seconds. Dang.
Kareem comes down and gets fouled with 8 seconds left. He makes the first, but misses the second.
Oh, he messed up.
LA ends up with the ball with 7 seconds left, down 1 point.
Down 1 point.
In the low post, being guarded by Dennis Johnson.
Byron Scott is in the ball game now. Magic hits this, the baby skyhook.
That was good.
2 seconds left.
2 seconds left
Down
in the
one.
finals. Ain't no way.
What do you think happens?
He knocks it down. Oh, he missed it.
I bet it wasn't that.
Yeah, no.
When I
no.
paused the tape and the ball was hanging in the air, you thought it was going in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Bird
thought
thought it
it
was
was
going in. Magic thought it was going in. I've seen this game before, and I still think it's going to go in. But it didn't. Pat
Okay.
Riley said it himself. We got lucky. And that, a missed shot in the NBA Finals is why he's the clutchest. Because
It looked
after he
like-
makes the big
It
plays,
looks like he's about
has
to
the
make it.
big games, hits the big shots, time and time again, you expect him to hit every shot, to win every game. And in those fleeting moments when he doesn't, when he looks like
It
a
looks-
mere human,
it
when
looks
he
weird.
looks like everyone else who tries to do what he does, you just can't believe it. That's what Larry Bird did. He made the big plays so often you thought he was going to make them every time.
Dang.
He helped turn basketball into a global phenomenon, paving the way for every Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, or LeBron James who comes through our lives. He played basketball in its purest form and captained a team that is consistently ranked among the greatest of all time. He has the second highest win percentage in the history of the NBA, behind Magic by less
whole
than
lot of
1/2
winning.
of 1%, about 10 games. He was the complete package, a player with no holes in his game whatsoever. They called him Basketball Jesus. He didn't get that name without doing something extraordinary. He saved basketball,
Wow.
and he did it by playing it better than anyone else. Here's Magic at Bird's retirement in 1993.
Larry Bird said that there would be another Larry Bird one day. And Larry, there will never, ever, ever be another Larry Bird.
Wow.
That's sweet.
To the greatest basketball player ever, but more important, a friend forever.
That was good.
Oh, that's it.
Hey,
That was
everybody.
it. That was good. Wow. I mean, I learned a lot about Larry Bird in that video.
There was a lot of statistics in there.
A lot of statistics. A lot of things I learned. A lot of things I've been actually on the last
Yeah.
videos that he answered for me. So he did win 3 championships. I mean, he got a lot of all-stars, a lot of first teams, a lot of MVPs, clutch. I mean, he's everything you want in a player. He plays hurt. I mean, what else do
Yeah.
you need? And he's super tall, too.
I know.
I didn't even know that
He makes all those like last minute shots.
clutch.
I can't believe he didn't make the last one.
Yeah, I swear he was about to make that.
Yeah, I
swear.
really thought.
But I guess it means something to video that everyone that, you know, on the Lakers like, man, we got lucky. Like,
Yeah.
he never misses shots like that. So it shows you how other people even think of
Yeah,
him.
how like they rely on him.
All of that.
Yeah.
I mean, sheesh. I mean, yeah, I like this Larry Bird journey. I mean, I'm learning more and more about him. Yeah, I mean, golly, he's a dog. I mean, sheesh. Like, all those legends are talking about, man, like, I'd rather guard
Yeah.
Michael Jordan than Larry Bird. Like, Larry Bird is very smart, so, dang. And he's right. I mean, it's a lot of people who play, I can see similarities, but it's not been one exact person like that. He plays exactly like Larry Bird. Like, Michael Jordan, you got Kobe. Magic Johnson plays like LeBron. Jokic, you could say that, but Jokic, they're totally different.
They're different.
They're totally different. They got a lot of similarities, though. Doncic, too, but... Yeah, I haven't seen another, like, exactly Larry Bird. Dang, yeah, that was very insightful. Shout out to the guy who made the video, man. That was a good
I
video.
know, yeah.
Good video. Yeah, it was good. I learned a lot about him. What you think about Bird after that?
I just like watching him play. I don't really care about the math.
Yeah. You just like watching his
I
highlights.
think you said it last time. Like, if you're entertaining for me to watch, then I want to watch you play.
Yeah.
And if you're good at it and you're entertaining, I think that's, like, everything.
Oh, yeah. You still don't find a player like him.
Yeah.
He's so flashy. So flashy. I mean, I would love to see Larry Bird back in the day. Go to a Larry Bird game. To see him make those freaking crazy passes. Y'all gotta let us know y'all's favorite Larry Bird moment. For sure. Y'all favorite Larry Bird game or moment or time. Y'all let us know that. You got anything you want to say, Gigi? All right, I'm Tris.
I'm Gigi.
Peace.